I recognize the Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have the biggest deficit in Nova Scotia's history and $6.7 billion in out-of-budget spending in the past 5 years. Meanwhile, housing remains expensive and unattainable, employment is rising, and concerns abound. This week, government heard from thousands of Nova Scotians about the cruel cuts in the budget that make up less than 1% of the posted deficit, and yet somehow this government is doubling down on their refusal to be transparent. My question is, what steps is the Premier taking to improve the oversight on government's out-of-control spending?
I recognize the Honourable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, there's tremendous oversight on the budget, and as legislature, as we go through the estimates process, as we go through all of that, there's oversight in that whole process, and this is democracy in action. And Madam Speaker, we are continuing to invest in the things Nova Scotians need, like health care, housing, affordability. Those are our primary focuses in this budget, and we have a budget with difficult decisions. We have almost a $1.3 billion deficit, 1.249, I believe, and we're working hard to meet the needs of Nova Scotians at the same time, try to balance these difficult choices, Madam Speaker.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We do this every spring, and yet this government has spent $6.7 billion extra that they refuse to bring to the floor of this House. They have the power to spend it, but they refuse to accept any oversight onto that spending. Hundreds of people are still speaking out, and this government isn't listening. They have proven that they cannot be allowed to operate in the dark. Even when they reverse some cuts, they can't explain why they chose them or what the impact will be. Nova Scotians are losing trust that this government is actually acting in their best interests. Will the Finance Minister commit to providing a full analysis of the impact to jobs and GDP of the cuts, the reverse cuts, and the remainder of the budget before driving this budget forward for a vote?
I recognize the Honourable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, we're following the same process that has been followed in this legislature since 2010, brought in 2010, and in terms of how we account for spending. And this year, some of the additional appropriations include funding for wildfires, include investments in film and television, include many, many investments over the last 5 years in health care. So we'll make no apology for that. We'll meet the needs of Nova Scotians when we can meet them.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. These talking points are getting tired. It doesn't matter what they are. Why won't this government accept any oversight for them? They can spend the money, but bring it to the floor of the House. It's not their money, it's the people's money. Madam Speaker, Nova Scotians have watched this government spend billions, but they aren't feeling the difference in their daily lives. And now people are being forced to pay for this mismanagement with their jobs, the services they depend on, and the things that make their communities thrive. Thousands of people are watching, presenting, meeting with MLAs, writing letters, marching in the streets, and still, this government refuses the most basic level of transparency, unlike the rest of the country. What possible rationale could this government have for refusing basic oversight?
I recognize the Honourable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, democracy is working as it should here, and in fact, we made adjustments in the budget due to the democratic process. I'm proud of that. That's on us. So we've made those adjustments. We have full oversight in this legislature, and I'm proud of that. And any of the additional appropriations we've made over the number of years have followed the same process that the past 3 governments have followed. We'll make no apology for meeting the needs of Nova Scotians as we can meet the needs of Nova Scotians, Madam Speaker.